we cannot fathom anymore. We cannot really understand how small they are. I mean, yes, we talk about numbers. We say that we talk about sizes, but we are not able to understand how small they are. We are not able to get that
Incredibly small. They're smaller than a cell.
Yeah.
Like at 3 nanometers, you're way under the size of a human skin cell. Like,
and if we talk
just,
about quantum computers, it's getting even more complicated.
It's getting spooky, and I don't have, so I can speak to the outside of that. I'm not into quantum engineering. I'm not into quantum coding, but it's getting spooky, right? There's a statement that's been going around now. It's I would say it's less of a rumor and more of a science folks thinking maybe we have an answer for something. But physicists for a long time have believed in the multiverse. Just in a sense, like that like there's like there could be for every the universe could do this really weird thing where it's essentially constantly fracturing.
Every
And
decision.
yeah. And when they have a quantum chip that's taking an equation that would normally take like the heat death of the universe worth of time, like a billion years to solve, like, and you can have things like this, right? Like you can have things that you would like stick into a coding platform and run it, and it would just churn and churn and churn because you've given it some sort of maybe recursive math or something where it's going to have to work on it forever. That's not hard to do. You can do that. I can do that. We can go find equations and run them on our crappy computers, and they'll just do that for the rest of their life until they get unplugged. So they're taking something like this, and it's a format problem in a sense. Like it's everybody knows the problem they fed it, and it goes done in a couple of seconds. And so that's opened up this really weird line of thinking because it's like, how do they do that? And so one of the things I've heard that is freaky is that like there's an infinite number of universes, right? So if that's the first thing you've got to agree to. There's an infinite number of universes. And if that is true, then this chip that we just made exists an infinite number of times. Therefore, when we turn it on, we're opening a gateway to all the other times and all the other timelines that it's turned on. And these chips are working together across infinite universes to solve that problem together. And that stuff should make your brain just pretzel in. Like,
man, you just destroyed my. I have no words now. I haven't heard this theory.
It's a theory.
This is so interesting.
It's a theory. And you say, okay, did we accidentally get to like interdimensional portals through qubit computing? Because all these weird things show up, right? You got to keep the things really cold. So basically that means you got to control the influence on them. And like, you really want to get a clean read. And it might be in the quiet space that you can look, or you can bridge into other universes. Because if that's the case, what does that do for something like propulsion or energy? Right? Like, could you bridge over and say, well, we've got an infinite number of hydroelectric dams, I guess. Like, could we extract it? Like, can we?
Or maybe with a different propulsion engine. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? And what's I think communication. Can we communicate across this? Like, I just don't know. I mean, I've heard some really wild stuff when it comes to universes and bending time and space and stuff, but this is like a practical, we've got to figure out how it works now, not we're trying to think of a theory of how to build something. And like I've heard of folks that were pretty consistent. Like there was a guy, he's a physicist named Ronald Mallet, and he had come up with years ago an idea that he's like, if we do this, we can create basically a box which can hold information that exists outside of space and time, meaning the second that we create this device in this box, it will contain messages from the future. And if we put messages into it, they'll become available across the entire space and time. And so he wanted to do this by getting up into space and creating what's called a ring laser. So essentially ultra dense electromagnetic containment around a specific space. And he's like, you can only do it in orbit. You can only do it in low gravity. So the cost to do that is in the billions, trillions. I have no idea, but very expensive. Yeah. But he was like, if you flip this on, the second it goes on, you'll as long as it's turned on into the future, you should be able to get messages to exist in this special space, in this space where we believe we've nullified out all the external forces.
And also time.
Isn't that wild?